Hello and welcome to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. I'm James Jennings, once again joined by Caterina Legato.
Hi everyone.
And we are doing a very special episode today by talking to one of Caterina's clients, Julie. Hi Julie, how are you?
Hi James and Kat. I'm well, how are you?
We're doing okay. And it's a pretty heavy topic. We've talked about witchcraft on the podcast before, and I believe that witchcraft is the unfortunate reason that you sought Katarina out and I guess got to know her. Can you tell us a bit about what happened to you and how Katarina came in and assisted?
Well, I'll start from the beginning. I did have issues with a friend. It was a female friend. And I noticed an envious or like a jealousy with comments that she would say initially. And when I was around her before I walked away from the friendship, it was like my energy was rejecting her. I could not be in her presence. I could not sit at her home for too long. I would make up excuses to leave early because I would feel physically sick, especially in the stomach region, but more towards the uterus. I would just get these sharp pains and they would be unbearable. And it wasn't just that pain. It was something inside me was saying something's wrong, like you need to go. And then it got progressively worse. So I started bleeding from my uterus. The pain was so intense that I ended up in emergency twice.
Goodness.
And the bleeding went on for 4 months. Constant, heavy uterine bleeding. And and it was frustrating because during this 4-month period, I'll start from when I ended up in emergency, the doctors had no idea what to do. They did not know what caused it. They thought I was pregnant. So they gave me that many pregnancy tests, blood tests, and I'm like, I'm not pregnant. But it feels like something inside me has exploded. Because the pain was unbearable. That pain was so intense. I never want to feel it again. That's how horrible it was. And then, like I said, it continued for months, and it went from another doctor to a specialist to a gynecologist and no one had an answer for me. No one had an answer. It would not stop. Nothing could stop it, and then it got to my mental health because it was frustrating for a woman to bleed for that long. I started thinking, is it possible that I'm never going to have children? I can't live a life like this. This isn't a life because it was so heavy that my energy levels were very affected. I would constantly be fatigued and, I'd just feel sick and I couldn't sleep.
Zero.
Yeah, my iron levels were horrible. I was very pale. I looked unwell. I couldn't function day-to-day activities because of the fatigue and the pain. Even being at work was hard. Driving my car was hard. And just to get no answers, I got to the point I don't want to live a life like this. How can I have any answers? It was, and then people think you're crazy and you're lying, but it was there. All the doctors examined me. It was evident, and no one could put a stop to it. Then, and this was in the process of, I did start feeling sick with my, when I was breaking it off with this girl, but this was in the period where I completely cut her off. It still continued, and this bleeding and this problem kept getting heavier and heavier. So I had no one to turn to. No doctor knew what they were talking about. My friends didn't know what to do. So I made an appointment with Katarina.
Had you seen Katarina before, or had someone recommended her to you?
It's ironic. So someone did recommend Katarina to me. Actually, it's the person. Yeah,
you're talking about the jealous friend.
I've had the problem with ironically. I've known Katarina for years. So that's I guess I don't know. Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've known Katarina for a very long time, and this wasn't the first time she helped me. She's helped me many times. And after I seen Katarina, she knew exactly what it was. She knew who it was, and she healed me. She worked her magic, and then the pain subsided, the bleeding stopped. I could live a normal life again.
So, Katerina, I mean, obviously, we don't want to share any personal details that you don't want to share, but I'm curious, I guess, from we talked about the topic of witchcraft. What was going on? What had this friend done that had caused this to happen?
I felt that she wanted to hold on to Julie. She was so fearful, obviously, of losing Julie as a friend because this person didn't have many friends.
Oh, okay.
So she was holding on to Julie. And the more Julie let go, the more she became so threatened and angry that she began to apply witchcraft to destroy Julie as a form of revenge.
Like actual, I'm going to sit down and practice.
She did, yeah, which she had those abilities. She did have, because I know who this person is, she does have psychic abilities. Now, again, you can use your abilities for good or bad. So she was using it for the bad. She wanted to create, within Julie's uterus, some sort of, obviously, who knows what that could have become. It could have even become a terrible disease within her uterus because she was particularly targeting her uterus, which is all about nurturing and giving, having children. She knew Julie was young and wanted to one day, have her own family. So she was trying to destroy her life. And again, when black magic builds and builds, then it begins to create discomfort, disease within the body. And that's what happened to her. That's why there was not really anything wrong physically. But the bleeding was actually her life force leaving her.
Oh my
so the
God.
black magic, because when you lose blood, we have life force in our blood. So when you lose blood, you're losing your life force. So the more life force you lose, eventually you will die.
I don't know what to say. It's just appalling.
That's how
it's so
she
shocking.
was. Yeah, she wanted to obviously see her dead.
I just got goosebumps too.
It was a terrible time.
Yeah, and it's sad because this was a friend of mine, and we were friends for a reason. She wasn't like this. She had the potential to be, and she was. I knew her in the past as being a beautiful, caring person, and I'd be a liar if I said that she's never helped me in my life because she helped me many times. Yeah, she helped me many times, and still to this day, even knowing what I know, I don't wish anything bad on her. I hope she goes the other way, as in, I hope she goes down the good path again because I know she was that person. That's what's frustrating. She's just chosen the darker path, and I sensed that for a while, and and I kept trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I knew it before I got sick, before she made me sick, but sometimes you just need to let people go because you can't. It wasn't worth it in the end for me. Yeah, she was good, but me holding on to that beautiful part of her that I knew existed, it wasn't worth compromising my health and my life, and that's what was happening in the end.
Yeah.
My health and sanity truly was being compromised there, and it was traumatic, and and I wish her well. It's just sad because I knew she was a good person, and I hope she changes her ways.
In her own life went wrong for her. Her own life, her relationships didn't go the way she intended them. She didn't want to do the work on herself.
Well, I was going to say, what?
She became resentful and angry, and then she'd look at Julie, who was blossoming and growing and doing her spiritual work, and so she began to feel extremely jealous and resentful. So when Julie threatened to, obviously move away from that friendship, she felt she was going to lose a big part of her own life by losing Julie.
Wow. So essentially she let the fear creep into her life and took very negative actions to try and hold on to things in an unnatural way.
Yeah, and target her in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Through the bleeding.
Yeah.
That's appalling. So you were able to come...
It's sad. It's actually sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
like it's sad when a friend does that to you. Like I
Betrayal.
said, like still to this day, I don't think anything bad of her. I have some sort of love for her because I knew who she was and who
And
she
who
has the
she really
potential
is
to
a
be.
part of God still, but she's using her ego to drive her.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kat, you came in and you were able to see what was going on, and
So I had to disconnect Julie from the actual witchcraft and then heal all her chakra system, because all her chakra system had been attacked by her constant witchcraft. And, you know, sever those connections and pull out all the psychic cords that she had connected to Julie in order to keep pushing that curse and that black magic towards her. So she had created psychic links to all of her chakras. So they were like cords. So I had to take them out and then heal the wound.
That's so dark. It's such
It was very dark.
She would have died eventually had that not been resolved and healed, because if you continue bleeding,
Oh, of course.
You're not
You
going.
can't go on
There's a
living
point,
like that.
yeah.
Like that's
it would have got
absolutely
to
no
a
way to
point where
live.
she would have needed a blood transfusion, and you
Yeah.
still continued bleeding, and your mental state too.
Do you think that she had the intention of I know this sounds a bit dark, but do you think she had the intention of killing you? Do you think that's what she was trying to do?
Look, I don't think she had the intention to kill me. I don't think she wanted death as a result. I think she just wanted me to constantly need her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I think I don't think she wanted me
Right.
dead. Maybe this is what I think, and I don't know if Katarina can comment. Maybe she didn't want me to have a child because she attacked my uterus. Because, you know, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
She
think
wanted to hold on
she wanted
to
me
you,
to have a
Julie.
child.
She didn't want you to get married or meet anybody in life. She wanted
Yeah.
you to, just because she had no one in her life.
Right.
She was very
Yeah, look,
unhappy with her partner, who was a loveless relationship. Therefore, all she had was you. She had no other family. So she
Yeah.
didn't want you to ever find a relationship or have love in your life, so you would always hang around with her. And then when she saw that you had kind of worked out what she was about, distant, then she took.
Well, yeah, it's true because even when I would hang out with my other girlfriends, for example, she would act like a jealous boyfriend if I was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and you know, not just that. Like I started growing up. I got a new job. Like I was I was working 2 jobs. I was so preoccupied with work. I didn't always have time, and you know that didn't sit right with her. But so I don't know. I think exactly what Katarina said. I don't believe she wanted me dead. Like she probably did what she did with the witchcraft with the other intentions, but I don't think that in her head, like she wanted me dead, and she would know that would be the result.
The thing is, though, when
you're
you
around
do
those dark
witchcraft, it can get out of control. You can't have a button and go, I'm going to lower it. Once witchcraft gets out of control, as it had done with you, there is it's going to end badly. Whether she intended to kill you or not, that witchcraft had, because it was there for so long and she had continued doing it, there was never going to be an end to that. There's no button to tone it down because Julie's almost dead and she's been bleeding for 4 months. It just continues to grow and it continues to have more strength and power over you.
Yeah, I don't know if she was topping up over a period of time.
That's why you're constant. You have to continue topping up. You have to continue.
So
But you know what? Like I've always been in tune. It's so important. If this happens, if you know, I don't want anything like this to happen to anyone else. But your gut instinct and your energy and like God, your guides. You know what? They give you warnings. I had the warnings before. Like that's why I like for a while too. I probably ignored them for too long, and that's my bad because you know I still had that love for her.
Yeah, of course.
But your energy tells you, and your spirit guide, they give you signs. Like, my body was rejecting her in the end. Like, I can't explain it. So if that ever happens, pay attention to it.
Yeah, good advice.
Yeah, you got to go with that intuition, that gut feeling, you know, where something inside of you is saying, stay away from this person.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And has this been have you had other brushes with witchcraft and stuff like this as well, Julie? You mentioned something earlier on before we started today that I got the impression that this isn't a one-off for you. Is that right?
Unfortunately, it's not a one-off. There's been a few attacks in that sense from people. You know, even with this current one that we're talking, like after Katarina helped me clear, you know, it was all good. Like with my health, the same person struck again.
Okay, well, I was going to ask that. My question was going to be, after the healing, was that the end of it? But no, she continued.
For a while, it was. I felt 100%. But like Katarina said, this person's very spiritual.
In a way, in a negative way.
In a negative way with the dark occult. Oh God, I don't even like saying. I don't even like saying.
What is it?
I don't even like talking about it. But and yeah, she managed to break through, because I think after a period, right? So after I got so sick, because she always wanted me to come back to her, I think she expected me to get so sick that I'll come back to her. I need help. This is happening to me, you know. And then after a while, like, I never came back. You know, I never came back. I think she expected me to either call her or, you know, or something, like some type of contact. I don't think she ever expected that I'll be gone forever, you know. And then, you know, God, it was probably after I'm trying to think what month it was. So after Katarina healed me, I would say it was probably 8 to 9 months after.
Okay, so, right.
Yeah, probably around the 9-month mark, where, you know, it was different. I wasn't bleeding this time. I was very depressed. I had no energy. Like, I was in bed, like, I think for 2 weeks I was in bed. I just couldn't do simple things. All my energy was drained, but there was no type of sickness. You know, I couldn't go to work, because it's like being around people gave me anxiety, which was weird. Driving a car, I'd get anxiety. Like, I couldn't. It felt like everything was closing in on me. So I'd just really stay in my room. And you know, I'll put it off, like maybe it's a virus or something. You know, a really bad virus. And then there was, because I was sleeping a lot because I was so drained, there was this time where I was sleeping during the day where I had to lie down in my bedroom. And I don't know if it's called sleep paralysis. So, but basically, I could see everything in my room, and you know, it was still daylight, so everything was bright. I could see everything around me. Everything could not move. There was some dark force on top of me, restricting my movement where I couldn't move. But I've been through that before, so I know what it was. But I remember I could move my head a bit and my eyes, and I remember looking at my bedroom wall, and blood was running on the walls, and the initial C came up in the blood, right? And whilst I'm in this paralysis, I know that the only way to get out of it can be very scary. I never get too scared, because the only way to get out of it and break out of it is to pray. So once you pray, I was praying to Saint Michael. Once you pray, this entity that was on top of me, it screams in your ear. It tries to confuse you so you can't finish the prayer. And then as you just keep praying, I broke out of it, because finally broke out of it, couldn't move. That's when I had the energy to make it to the lounge that I'm sitting on, which is in the living room from my bedroom, because I felt that drained. And look, I texted Katarina. I should have texted her sooner. Sort of gave her a look. I haven't been feeling well for the past 2 weeks. I just woke up from this sleep paralysis. I saw blood on the walls. I saw this. She was worried. She goes, send me a photo of you now. So just took a selfie. I don't know what kind of selfie I sent you. I must have looked like hell. And Katarina freaked
She's
out.
at it
Like, she's
again.
like, oh my God. Do you remember
Yeah,
that,
it was
Katarina?
like,
Do you
oh
want to
my
go
gosh,
from
I
that?
saw her again, attacking her again.
You could see, so that what was
Yeah.
it, the photo?
It's just a message that I kind of got. This girl's attacking her again, this ex-friend.
So
So she'd continued brewing over Julie.
That's
And
unbelievable.
because Julie never went back to visit her anymore, she thought she'd do another round of Julie.
Unbelievable. So even you coming in with your power and your ability, that wasn't enough to make her go away and stay away. Like Julie calling upon you and you being basically the
we
most...
resolved one issue, but unfortunately this girl had it in for Julie so much. I mean, normally you can resolve it in one, the first time.
Yeah. There have been other times, like, where I've had these issues, similar issues, and I've been to Caterina, and, thank God, I've never had a problem where it's relapsed, like, where it's just come back until this time. This time was the first time where it came back.
It didn't, it wasn't, it was a different ritual. She did another.
It wasn't as strong, like, I wasn't bleeding.
Time, no. That was
I wasn't bleeding, but there was something wrong. It's like my mental...
She was just draining her energy. So again, I believe that she's very skilled in her knowledge of the occult. And when those months passed and Julie never went back to her, then I think she, like I said, again, she's a very damaged soul. She began to brew that anger and resentment towards Julie, and thought, I'll have another go at her. And hence, it wasn't as bad, but it had potential to go into another really bad direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's relentless.
She's quite a demented, demented soul. Again, this is because she's so unhappy.
Right.
With her own life.
But we encounter people like that in day-to-day life anyway, where they're desperately unhappy, and their only way to cope with it is to
take it out on someone else.
You make people around you unhappy.
Yeah, and Julie's very spiritual and sensitive, so she felt those attacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think on many levels, Julie's not someone who's hateful or angry, so she's still having that love for her, and she forgave her.
I do. I still do.
Because they'd been friends for so long. So that was kind of like an open door for her to come in through the love that Julie had for her, or still has for her. So that gave an opportunity for her to reopen that door and attack her.
When people practice this kind of dark magic, is it going to affect them in a negative way? Like, is their life going to become unhappier, and is their life going to kind of crumble? Because
your life's still in a pretty bad way to start to do things like that.
Well, yes.
So it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking in karma or whatever you want to call it. It's like if you're putting out lots of negativity and hate and damage, like that's eventually going to circle back in on you, right?
Correct.
So I can't imagine. I mean, I imagine that this person would want to stop based on that. It's like surely she must be in a pretty bad state to put this amount of demonic energy out there. It's only going to envelope.
Well, she was gifted, but she chose to use it in the most negative way.
Right.
She had a gift, don't you reckon? She did.
Yeah, she was. You know what? She actually had the potential to be a healer. That's what she was. She actually gave me my first healing ever, and that's going back years ago, like over a decade ago. This was when she wasn't nothing like this, because we wouldn't be friends. So she had the potential to be a healer, right? But she's just gone the other way. She's gone the dark way. She has the potential to help people and guide people, and like Katarina, in a sense, heal them. She probably has the abilities to clear magic herself, or to recognize and see that in someone. But unfortunately, she's just gone down the dark path.
Hopefully there's still an opportunity for her to reverse that and to actually, go. I mean, we've talked about this in previous episodes as well, where it's like, it's never too late to turn it around and start, living from your heart and doing the right thing. You know what I mean? But it's a choice between living from a place of fear and pain to I guess a place of vulnerability and being from your heart, which is, to some people that's scary. So yeah.
Yeah. So really, at the end, Julie needed to completely let go and really keep protection from this person in order to move forward.
Yeah.
And you know what I also suggested to Julie is not to kind of be too much on social media or things where she can see you, but you blocked her, haven't you?
I blocked her from everything when we
so she
ended,
won't,
though.
not know where you live. It's good to, you know, for these people not to have any
link to you.
Oh, yeah.
Completely cut and cease that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's gone well since then, that you've cut all those links to her. You haven't really had any more attacks. No.
Wow. Well, look, thanks.
No, Katarina did the second time. She did a really powerful, like...
Wasn't she your mum too? She attacked your mum?
That's what I was going to say. It wasn't over yet, Katarina. It's not over yet.
Gosh.
So, Katarina did protect me intensely. And like I said, like, literally,
and then she
like, hours after, I felt better. Just like the first time, the pain, the bleeding stopped. Like, you know, it was almost instant. She's just, truly, she's amazing, right? And I remember when you healed me this time, the second time around, Kat. Do you remember when you got stabbed?
Yeah, that's right.
Say what now? You got stabbed? What?
While I was clearing Julie, because I was doing it distant from the photo, she stabbed me. This dagger went in my heart because she knew then, she'd worked it out that I was helping Julie. So, yeah, I had to pull it out because I was so kind of, engrossed in clearing that.
So she kind of like energetically...
energetically threw a dagger at me.
Oh, my... And you obviously just...
I felt, I had to pull it out. So she was attacking me for helping her.
Oh, my goodness.
Because she knew that I was helping her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
And so then when Julie was okay, she then, oh, my gosh, she was relentless. She attacked your mum.
So, look, yes, and this was very recent. This was during the lockdown that we just went through. We've been through that many lockdowns, but the most recent lockdown. Okay, so what happened then, look, Caterina, I was still fearful because of this woman kept attacking me. I just wanted to move on with my life, so I'm like, but I felt after this second one, because I could hear how strong Caterina was while she was hearing me, and I knew I was okay, and I felt completely protected, felt great, my life was happy, peaceful, everything was going great. And then it was the previous lockdown that we just endured, but it was a very long one. So I forgot what month it was.
July,
it was probably
August through that time. Was the winter months that,
Yeah, because we couldn't get to you when this happened because everyone, So basically, my mum, we live in the same household, and my mum started to feel very unwell. She's been in bed, can't get up, and sometimes that's my mum's nature. She gets sick and she needs, so I didn't think much of it. But it got to a point where she would get up and it would be like something would push her over. Like, say she'll get up out of bed and she'll say, it feels like someone's pushing me over. And I'm like, shit, she's got vertigo. Do you know what I mean? We better fix it. But then, so I thought, okay, she's got vertigo. Like, we've got to get you to a doctor or whatever. She's seen the doctor. They prescribed her some pills for it. Then a few days later, I was working from home at this period because it was lockdown, and then I hear boom, and I'm like, what the? My mum's on the floor in the next room, and I go, Mum, are you all right? I can't get up. I fainted, or no, something pushed me. She kept saying something pushed me, and I go, no, it's not that. It's just, just get some rest. Anyway, I ended up calling an ambulance for it too because it was getting a bit because that medication that she was taking, it wasn't working. And her GP suggested, because I called him, he goes, look, if those pills aren't working, you need to call an ambulance. So, poor thing, she had to go. It was locked down, I couldn't go with her too, so she was there by herself for about a day, got treated. They can't see anything wrong with her too, so the ambulance, the doctors there, they took her blood, all her brain scan, everything's okay, all the tests, they're all good, nothing's wrong with you. Then my mum came home that night, the next day, I believe, and then this falling situation kept continuing with her. She couldn't have a shower, which was sad, because like my poor mum could not go have a shower because she would constantly fall over, but she would swear that something's pushing her. I've never felt anything like this, Julie. Something's pushing her. Still, I didn't think much of it until one day my father I wasn't at home. I was at another friend's house, and it happened, and my dad witnessed it. It happened in the kitchen, and my dad grabbed a hold of her whilst it was happening, but my dad could feel a force pushing my mum, and like he could, and my dad's pretty strong, and for him to not be able to sustain this, it was hard for him. Then my dad started freaking out. He didn't say anything in front of my mum. When I got home, he kind of pulled me aside. He goes, Julie, he goes, something's really wrong. There's something in the house. I felt it, like the strength of it. It is, something's actually pushing her down. And because like I'm an empath and I can feel when things are wrong usually, and of course I couldn't feel it. I'm like, well, now that Dad said it, okay, something's wrong. I contacted Katarina. So because I was so heavily protected, she couldn't break through to get to me. So she either sent it to my house in order for it to come to me, but because I was so protected, I guess my mother was the next weakest link. Like, I don't know, Katarina, you could advise further on that.
She had created, it was a demon. She had brought in a demon and it connected it to Julie's mum. And so this demon was just pushing, and demons are very strong, diabolical creatures. So it was following her and pushing her. And obviously this was another way of getting to Julie by attacking her mother.
Yeah.
Because it was, at that stage, I had placed heavy protection over Julie because I thought she can't go on being attacked this way.
Yeah, of course.
And so I was kind of keeping an eye on Julie for a long time, making sure that there wasn't going to be any more attacks.
She was, God bless her, God I love you.
And then this person attacks her mother. So then Julie, obviously, again, we were in lockdown, so she sends me the picture of her mum, and I see this really huge, creepy, long nails, this demon creature attached, like following her mum. It wasn't possessing her because obviously she, she's a nice woman and she wasn't going to be able to, it wasn't going to be able to connect to her, but it was around her. So this person sent this demon because obviously because she'd done so much witchcraft, she had opened up the realms of Satan and allowed herself to become part of those demonic realms. That's what, when you start using witchcraft, you're opening up to dark forces that will come in and help you. It's just so when you open up to God, God comes in and helps you. So she was obviously, had all these demonic entities that were happy to work through her to bring havoc to other people. So she sent a demon to Julie's mother. And this demon was just, pushing her and obviously absorbing, drawing out her life force and energy.
Life force, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flabbergasted by that. I mean, but also flabbergasted that someone would, I don't know, be that hateful to make such a concentrated effort.
It was a pretty severe case. Yeah, look, this was probably one of the most severe cases I've come from because she did have skill.
Yeah,
so usually when people have to pay someone else to do black magic, there's a point where money runs out or they get bored with it. But because she was practicing this this witchcraft, obviously, there was no end to it. So, I needed to pull in a lot of rays of light to actually kind of, destroy this entity and then clear her mum and just, had to send a lot of light and, like holy fire into her home to just, clear out all the residual energy that demon had brought in with it. And then your mum stopped falling.
Yep. Got her energies up. And, you know, what's amazing is that because it was during lockdown, I couldn't physically take Mum and I couldn't physically see Katerina, right? So the fact that Katarina did this remotely, and, you know, I was smoking the house with prayers and I was doing my bit because even after everything she did to me, I was ropeable because that's like, you know, with me, I don't, like, I can deal with that. But if you attack someone else, another innocent person that's close to me, like, I was actually ropeable at this stage. This was the angriest I'd been during the whole period of this because it's affecting, you know, like, because you're going to think, what's next? Like, who's next? Like, this is affecting people I love. When it's me, I can handle it, right? So,
But she knew that that was going to get to you, you see. She knew that it was going to upset you by attacking your mum.
But she still didn't get a reaction from me.
No, this is true.
Yeah. But I mean, the remote aspect,
which is what I think she wanted you. She wanted you to call her and go, "You bitch, I know you're behind this," but that, not worth it, and that
really
made
not
her
worth it.
angry
Not
because
worth it.
Julie was not reacting to it.
Well, that's it. Well, it's like any bully, right? Because this is basically psychic bullying, and she wants a reaction. Like, I mean, do you think that she still is holding out hope that you're eventually going to be like, let's be friends again? Like, do you think?
Probably.
I do actually. Yeah, I do.
Got to hide,
I think so.
I really Julie's think get on with her life now. So. Julie's on a path of connecting with a soulmate is what I see for her next, and a move and a new path of moving away from the past on so many levels. New for her.
Well, that sounds very positive.
Time for her to connect to love, to a beautiful partner I see around you, and moving on. And she deserves it because she's a beautiful soul. I really have always loved Julie from the moment I met you. She's just...
Oh, Katarina, stop it.
It's one of those people. There's so many people. There's just those few people that you just have a heart connection. And maybe we were sisters, or I was your mother in a past life. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, exactly like she's... Like, I love this woman so much. Like, I would gladly take a bullet for her. And that's no word of a lie. Like, I love her that much. That if anything was to happen to her, God forbid, I don't know what I'll do. I'll take a bullet for her. She's just that pure. She's like my angel. She truly is. She's helped me that many times. And to meet someone like her, I feel like, you know, they're a dying breed. There's not people like this.
Or like
you know, so it goes both ways.
I agree with that because I think once you get to know someone like Katerina and you understand what a rare and special person she is and what a rare and special gift she has is, it's just like it's a little bit. It's a little. I can't even find words for it. It's just like it's like it's a gift being able to know you. And I'm sure Julie feels the same way. No, it's turning into a love fest now, isn't it?
We just love each other.
I've said to God, that's it. I'm sort of retiring from this planet after this lifetime. I don't think I'll be back. I need to move on to other things.
Well, you've certainly, gone above and beyond when it comes to helping other people. So, I think you've earned that, Kat.
It's worth it, but she's worth it. Look, she may not even, God knows how that would have ended.
Yeah. Well, look, it's you clearly deserve happiness.
She does.
And
absolutely.
And we really do appreciate you sharing your stories today.
She's an incredible wise soul, Julie. Yeah. So wise for her age and really amazing.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you coming and sharing. Because obviously a lot of it is not easy to talk about.
Yeah,
so
to come and bare your soul on a show. But thank you so much.
Look, James, I'm at the point where if people think I'm cuckoo, because a lot of people don't believe in this. I really don't care what people think of me. If I can help one person. One person could be going from doctor to doctor, not getting answers and having this issue. And, there's other means of help. You know, and like Kat said, this can lead to death, and it has in some people.
Yeah, I've seen people in comas.
Yeah.
I've had cases of people in comas in hospital due to a black magic that's been placed. And yeah, look, I don't think, we're not here to convince anyone. We're here to share truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if it resonates, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone might hear something and it resonates 5-6 years down the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being our first guest on the
Yeah,
show.
amazing. My favourite person.
Great. That's a good place to start with. I thought I was your favourite person. I'm joking. So we would love to have you back again sometime.
We will.
So let's discuss more in the future. That would be nice.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll have you back again.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well,
talk about some of your ancestors and your guides and your new life.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Thanks for everyone for watching. Again, if you have any questions or you would like us to discuss certain things in future episodes, please get in touch. We will do our best to help. I think we can agree that's essentially what we're trying to do. As Julie said as well, it's about helping people and not trying to convince. I'm sure there's plenty of people who think we're all nuts. That's okay. That's
cool.
fine. But
we like being nuts.
Yeah, nuts is
the best way to be.
It is the best way to be. So but yeah, it's about helping and putting the information out there for whoever is drawn to it. So
that's right.
So thank you. Thanks for joining us, and we will see everyone again on a future episode.
Thank you.